Hi everyone, Dylan and I are back for another video this week here at the Dimas wine shop, and this week's all about warming reds.
Warming reds,
so
yes.
We have 6 great reds this week. I had the pleasure of picking all of the wines this week, so I'm really excited for you guys to try them. Yeah, we don't have too many announcements. I'll just let Dylan
we'll talk about the classes towards the end,
yeah.
But yes, we're going to be offering some really cool California classes for 4 weeks.
Yeah, so we'll do that towards the end. So we'll go ahead and get started. We're going to actually start with our matchbook. This is our Tempranillo.
So, to kind of echo what Kristen was saying is we do have some really good wines. I think these are probably some of the most interestingly made wines that we've had all together in a good long time. So, we start out here with the Tempranillo. This comes out of Dunnigan Hills. And Dunnigan Hills, to put it in perspective, trying to think of what everybody would think. It's in Yolo County. For those of you that are familiar with Sacramento, there's a little county there called Yolo County just to the west of Sacramento, and that is where these wines come from. And it's not a region that's known for a lot of wines, but it seems to be getting more and more press. But this is their Tempranillo. It does have some Graziano, so it's kind of made in that Rioja style. And then it does have also a little bit of Petit Verdot, which I thought was interesting to add to it.
It's very good. It's very light, but still fits the theme.
It really does. Well. Definitely a warming wine.
Alright, and I think our favorite, and I am sure that everyone who tasted it this week, you guys are going to love it. It's the Pizzazz.
The Pizzazz. So Carol Shelton, she's known a lot for her white wines. She's also known for her Zins, and she's out of Lodi. And she's probably got at least 6 different types of Zins on her portfolio of wines, and this is one of her old vine reds. This is the Pizzazz Zin, as Kristen was talking about. It's 96% Zin, and it does have a little bit of Petit Syrah. But I think what this wine reminded me of, other than the oldness of it because of the old vines, which remember, anytime it's old vines, it's always a minimum of 40 years and an average of 40 years and up. But it reminds me of cherry pie, and with a little vanilla to it. It's just an extraordinary wine, and it really goes well with the palate here at this shop. So I think as we go through the tasting, I wish we could end on this wine, but it's too light of a wine to end, especially with some of the brutes that we have coming in towards the end. But I think this by far is going to be one of the favorites.
Yeah, I think it's going to be one of our best sellers this week. So what would you pair this Zin with?
With this one, I'd certainly be doing a rack of lamb. It's funny, we were just talking about rack of lambs, and I would do a crown rack baked as opposed to grilled. But I would do a roasted rack of lamb on it, and I think this would be an absolutely home run.
Alrighty, and one of my other favorites, this is our Westerly. It's out of Happy Canyon.
Out of Happy Canyon, Santa Barbara. This is their 2012 effort. Westerly's just been making some great wines. We've been carrying them now for a year, wouldn't you say? And I'm glad we're doing more and more of this label. But this here is a blend of 74% Merlot, and it does have some Cab Franc in it. It's got about 26% Cab Franc. But I think the most important thing about this wine is that it sees 20-something months, 24 months of oak, of which 60% of it, so more than half of it, is brand new oak. And you know, to do that with Merlot is almost unheard of, but it really works, and it's really well blended, really well made. And I think that this is also going to be, I think a lot of people are going to flip-flop between the two of these as their favorite wines. But it just reminds me of like dried berries, and has a little bit of ripeness to it, but not over the top. And it's just a real delicious wine. I'd be looking at something mushroomy with this. Yeah, like even if you were going to grill a steak or roast a steak, just make sure you add some grill or some roasted mushrooms to it. And I think that's going to be a winner chicken dinner.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Alrighty, and next we have our Bordeaux, and this one I was pleasantly surprised with this. I really liked it.
Right, so This is the house that makes this is called it's Chateau Les Melot is who makes it, and it is considered a Bordeaux Superior. And those Bordeaux's, for those of you that are familiar with the area in Bordeaux, this would be just over by Pomerol and Saint-Emilion. So at the very bottom of the right bank. This house is known for making a blend of Merlot, Cabernet Sauvignon, and Cab Franc. However, this particular vintage is 100% Merlot. And you know, it's real Bordeaux-esque without the grip. It has a little bit of grip to it, but nothing like what you would expect like some of the growth wines to be, or even some of the second, third, and fourth growths. But a really, really well-made wine.
Yes, very good. Alrighty, and next out of Chile, we have our Santa Carolina, their Cabernet.
Out of the Maipo Valley, or what the Chileans call the Valle del Maipo. This is 100% Cabernet Sauvignon, done exclusively in French oak, and it has that, it's real reminiscent of real dry fruit. So think of like dried figs, think of like any sort of a dried berry, something that you would be opening up in a packet and opening up and eating it. You know how dried fruit kind of has that sensation of it just having a little bit of an age to it. That's what this wine is very reminiscent of. This wine screams for a steak, screams for a grilled steak. It's got a good amount of grip to it. So this is definitely a bigger wine, and once again, fits perfectly with the theme of warming wines.
Yeah, I hope it starts raining again. It'll fit our theme even more. So lastly is our Hill Family Syrah. Great wine to end on.
What a delicious wine. And really, seriously, this winery, I think they really stay true to their roots. They're really trying to make old world wines here in the new world. And I think what I like about this is it's got a nice splash of Viognier to it, which is very classic of some of the Rhone blends. It's got 3 or 4% Viognier, and the rest of it is, of course, Syrah. It doesn't have any of that Brett or that funkiness that a lot of those Rhone wines have. But it's real fruity, definitely big. Even though it's got 4% of white wine in it, it is a big powerhouse of a wine, and I really like this wine. I like the way that it's made. It's all done in Hungarian oak, of which a small portion of it is new, but the majority of it is neutral oak. The Viognier on this, I think one of the things that I just remembered of right now, the Viognier is co-fermented, which you rarely see, because there's a huge risk in co-fermenting wines, because if the blend is not right, there's really not a whole lot you can do other than bottle it. So what this is co-fermented. It's only, like I said, 3 or 4% Viognier, but co-fermented, and then at the very end, just bottled. So the way it's fermented is the way that it's bottled, and that's something that you rarely see. So, a great lineup, interesting wines, Kristen. Good job. Really interesting wines. Now let's shift gears and talk about class. We've got California for 4 weeks coming up, starting February 8th. All of us have got. All of us are either coming off of it, have had it, or are up and coming. So
it's no fun.
It's no fun. So, and I'm sure a lot of the people that are watching this know just how bad that flu going around is. But we do have our classes coming up February 8th for 4 weeks. They will all fit within the month of February. It's 4 consecutive Mondays from 6:30 to 8. Please make sure you come to those classes, because even though a lot of you that come to the shop are familiar with these wines, a lot of you may not know where these particular valleys are, or why these wines taste the way that they do. And you know, California, it's not just big in the United States as far as consumption, but it's big worldwide. So we look forward to seeing you this week.
It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.